Emergency aid is flown to Afghan's capital. The United Nations Humanitarian Air Service, or UNHAS, managed by the World Food Programme, or WFP, has resumed flights from Pakistan to Kabul. Earlier, planes transported relief supplies to the cities of Mazar-e-Sharif, Kandahar, and Herat in Afghanistan. In addition to nutritional assistance, UNHAS is delivering medical items from the World Health Organization. However, the aid agencies are short of money and time. To keep the UNHAS flights going, WFP says $30 million is required. And with more than 90% of Afghan families already struggling to sustain themselves, the agency estimates it will need $200 million to stock up enough food and distribute it around the country before winter sets in. Our sincere gratitude, WFP, WHO, UNHAS, all humanitarian workers, and the cooperative Taliban government. We pray that Afghanistan is on the road to peace and its resilient citizens will receive everything they need in Allah's compassionate care.
Indian state mobilizes response to new health threat. Kerala in southern India is exercising vigilance after a 12-year-old boy succumbed to the Nipah virus, or NIV. The pathogen is zoonotic, coming originally from fruit bats, with pigs being very susceptible. It can then be transmitted to other domestic animals and humans through contaminated food or directly between humans. Following the child's diagnosis, health officials initiated contact tracing and isolated everyone who was close to him. Mercifully, test results were negative for the first 8 primary contacts, but 40 other people were under observation. Medical personnel also conducted door-to-door investigations to identify additional individuals who may have been infected. Although the symptoms of contracting NIV are similar to COVID-19, death rates are higher, between 40% and 75% of the time, making it a more dangerous disease. We offer our sympathy to the victim's family and give thanks to the frontline responders. May all human beings stop eating animal products for their own safety and our planet's salvation in divine mercy.
Ireland makes significant investment in new housing. The Irish government has announced its Housing for All plan, which will spend more than €4 billion annually for the next 5 years to add 300,000 homes to the market. In addition to benefiting renters and first-time buyers, the initiative will also help to put an end to homelessness by 2030, per the European Union's 2021 Lisbon Declaration. Currently, over 8,000 individuals in the country are without a home, and this number represents a long-standing plateau. An oversight committee composed of non-governmental organizations and construction stakeholders will advise the state on its efforts to ensure adequate, safe, and affordable housing for everyone. What a promising development, Ireland. May your provision of permanent accommodation for all facilitate your citizens' happiness and progress. In God's loving embrace.
Innovative approach to preserving food saves energy and emissions. A team of researchers in California, USA, and Beijing, China, has demonstrated the efficiency of constant volume thermodynamic conditions for preventing food spoilage. Also known as isochoric freezing, the method involves placing food items in a rigid and sealed container filled with water and then put in a freezer. Only 10% of the water needs to be frozen, while the pressure inside the container prevents the ice from expanding. As long as liquid water surrounds the food, ice crystals will not form on it, thereby improving the food quality and preserving its freshness for a longer period of time compared to traditional freezing methods. The scientists calculate that a worldwide transition to this technology in the frozen food industry could save as much as 6.5 billion kilowatt hours and almost 4.6 billion kilograms of carbon emissions annually. Our delighted appreciation, international researchers. May you quickly scale up your new system to help feed the world's growing vegan population in heaven's blessings.
Champion hurdler demonstrates his gratitude. At the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo, Jamaican track and field star Hansel Parchment won the gold medal in the 110-meter hurdles. But for helping to make this happen, he gave credit to a kind-hearted Japanese woman who gave him money for a taxi. Mr. Parchment had accidentally boarded a bus to an aquatics venue instead of the stadium for his semi-final race. Tijana Stochkovic, a volunteer at the games, gave him the only cash she had, a Japanese banknote worth about $90, so he could get to the warm-up track on time. Later, after winning the gold, Mr. Parchment returned to where he had met his guardian angel, showed her his medal, reimbursed the money, and gave her a Jamaican branded shirt. We applaud your tender heart, Miss Stochkovic, and your outstanding performance, Hansel Parchment. In you we see abundant proof of God's unconditional love power.
Vegan eateries introduced their own chicken substitute. Monty's Good Burger in Southern California, USA, opened in 2018 with a mission to promote sustainable plant-based eating and animal rights. Since then, it has served more than 2 million meatless burgers at its 4 dining locations in the Los Angeles area. The company recently launched its first new menu item following 12 months of experimentation, dubbed Charlie's Chicken Sandwich. It features hand-breaded vegan fried chicken on an artisanal bun topped with vegan mayonnaise and pickles. The timing is right for Monty's to make this move because of the national chicken shortage caused by the pandemic. Bravo, Monty's Good Burger, for creating a tasty and compassionate alternative for your customers. In nurturing celestial light, may people obtain all of their nourishments from plants, now and forever.
Canine screens the elderly for COVID-19. Andy Chien in France has been training dogs to assist disabled people since 1989. With the arrival of the pandemic, the charity taught some of its fairy ambassadors to detect the novel coronavirus. After only 1 month's training, a 2-year-old golden retriever named Polka was assigned to La Rosalie nursing home in Alsace. Residents hold a small cloth under an armpit for 5 minutes to absorb their sweat. When Polka approaches it later, he sits down if he smells the virus's spike proteins. So far, PCR tests have confirmed that for patients with symptoms, the 4-legged medic is right every time. The dog is also able to recognize the virus 2 days before a positive PCR test result for people with or without symptoms. Thank you, Andy Chien, and 3 cheers for Polka. Your capabilities inspire praise for God and our determination to abolish the consumption of animals. In the wisdom of heaven,